Hi, welcome to this week's training. I'm so excited to be here. Hope you're excited to hear about these rabbit hole thoughts that we have. So we're, talking about this guy up here and how sometimes the brain and mind could be helping you out, and other times, well, not so much. But I want to talk about the five main reasons why we can end up going down these rabbit hole thoughts. I'm going to talk about three questions that you can ask yourself to know whether it's an okay thing or not so okay thing to be doing. And then at the very end, I'm also going to talk about my program, of course. But at the very end, we're also going to talk about. I'm very excited about this. I have an announcement to make, and it's something that I've teased in the group a couple of times, and I may have teased it on a few lives, but I finally have it completed, and I'm really, really excited. So I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. Okay. So let's get to rabbit hole thoughts. So the five main reasons, and I'm sure there's more, but the five main reasons that I want to talk about today is number one is curiosity and exploration. So when you're curious about something, when you're exploring something, a lot of times this is your creative side that's coming in, and it's um, your mind's going down, different pathways and stuff like that, or you're thinking about not ruminating, but you're thinking about things. And this happened to me this week. I was talking to another heart math professional, and I had one of those aha moments. Have you ever had one of those? And it was so exciting, and my brain just started going, and then it was so much fun, and feeling so creative and all kinds of stuff. But then I kind of hit the third point that I'm going to get to, and where I had to kind of stop it. So the second point, though, before I get to that third one, the second part that your brain does is association. It's trying to associate, it's trying to find pattern recognitions for maybe an issue that you're trying to solve. It's saying, okay, we have this issue, how have we dealt with something similar in the past? And so sometimes it looks like it's it's giving you a thought, and you're kind of like, well, that's interesting, but it's not quite, what this one is all about. It's just trying to help you. All right. So, come up with that stuff. So that's another part of the rabbit hole thoughts and why they're happening. So the third one, this is where I found myself in this week, was the overthinking and the ruminating, and whether it's positive or negative. When you get into this area, what's happening is you're having circular thoughts. It's the same thought over and over and over again, and when that's happening, you're not getting anywhere, right? So when I recognized that, I immediately pulled things out of my tool belt to stop it. One of the things that I tell you that you can do in a situation like this is do something about it. So take an action, take a small action. Make sure that you are doing this, though, from positive thinking and positive emotions. If you're going to end up doing it from the darker side, the negative emotions, the negative thoughts, you're going to probably do something that you regret later. So don't do it from that position. If you're in that negative position, you need to pull out of your tool belt first how to move over to the lighter side of the emotions and the thoughts. Okay. So, but that's what I did, is because I was on the positive side, but I took a little bit of an action on it, and my brain calmed down, and I wasn't doing all those thoughts, and I was able to get productive again that day. So, lack of focus, or not being able to keep your attention on something. This is you don't have any clear focus. This could be caused by boredom. Boredom is one. Boredom is actually a dark emotion. It's not a light one. So you don't want to be doing this from that position. And again, one of the things to come out of your tool belt would be to take some kind of an action. Let's say you're at work and you're bored at work. So, if you're technical, take out a technical manual and read that technical manual. Do some research online on that on technical topic that you might be interested in that'll help you at work. You go out and take a walk around the building. There's all kinds of little things that you can do to stop that boredom, but you really do want to stop it because you're not focusing. And a lot of times we don't focus when we're at work because we have a task that we just don't want to do. Oh boy, I remember those. And so One thing though is the other thing that you want to pull out of your tool belt, especially if you're avoiding a task, is you do want to pull out a mindfulness technique so that you can get that task done quicker and that you don't want to do. Okay, so that's the fourth one. The fifth one is emotional triggers, and emotional triggers are, the stressful triggers that, fear, pain, shame, anger. So it's a stressor that's happened that's caused the emotion, to flare up, and that emotion can actually hijack your thoughts. It can take you down rabbit hole thoughts that are not good at all. They're very dark, either against yourself, which isn't good, or very dark against somebody else. And oh my goodness, you do not want to take action when you're in that darker side. You definitely want to take things out of your tool belt that can move you to the lighter side of your emotions and thoughts before you take any kind of action. So and this used to happen to me a lot. I'm intuitive, and so I would have a thought that would cross my mind, and sometimes those thoughts would take me into fear. I had something happen 6 weeks ago, but I didn't get into that fear. Where normally, where my husband, I had a thought before I went to bed that he wasn't going to make it home and in bed that night. Now, having that kind of a thought would have in the past sent me down all kinds of horrifying rabbit holes. The fear would come up, I'm going to lose my husband, and I would have never been able to sleep. But if you've heard me tell this story before, I just, okay, well, that's an interesting thought, and I went to bed. Now, did he end up sleeping with me that night? No, his truck broke down, and he ended up sleeping at his work because but I got a really good night's sleep. So if anything had gone wrong, at least I was working from a full energy, full battery there. But nothing went wrong. So anyhow, those are the 5. And what you want to ask yourself, because mind wandering is actually normal. It's something your brain does. Like, I talked about the first 2 that, what happened, where it is normal for your mind to do that. So I don't want you to think every time you're wandering, that it's bad. So here's the 3 questions. Number 1, are you thinking dark thoughts? If you're thinking dark thoughts, it's not going to help you out at all. All right. So you need to be able to pull out things in your tool belt that are going to take those dark thoughts over to lighter thoughts. The second one is darker emotions. So your darker emotions, your fear, your anger, your shame, your pain, you don't want to act from that type of a position. And those aren't helping you out at all. You want to pull things out of your tool belt that are going to help you move the emotions over to the lighter side. The third thing you want to ask yourself is, am I being kept from the present moment? So that one I talked about, where I talked about the lack of focus, that can happen when you're daydreaming, and daydreaming can be kind of fun, right? So you could be daydreaming about you met this amazing guy and you have a lunch date with him, right? And so you could daydream about that. But if that's all you're thinking about for hours, it's not a good thing, because you're not being productive. So, and you're not in the present moment, you're thinking about the future. So you do want to be in the present moment as much as you possibly can. Definitely ask yourself that question: how long have I been out of the present moment? And I'd say if it's more than 20 minutes, you definitely need to work on figuring it out. And a lot of times when it's something fun that you're going down these rabbit holes, it's really, really hard to try and pull yourself out of it, because it's fun. And that would be the daydreaming type stuff. And that would be, like what was going on with me this week. And I posted about it too. And I said, oh my gosh, I had to take an action because I couldn't get out of this. So, anyhow, all right. So what are the 2 things that you can do? I've already talked about them, right? So number 1 thing is you need to learn how to move your emotions, not just move them from the darker side to the lighter side, but you need to be able to feel it in your heart. Your heart is where your feelings are at, and you've got to feel that change in your heart, that opening in your heart. Breathwork techniques are the ones that can help you with that. But for me, maybe this is because of my engineering background, but I need scientifically proven techniques. I'm not someone that is going to, just do a breath technique because somebody showed me something on YouTube. I want to know that it's actually proven that it's going to do what I'm asking it to do. And heart math is that for you. So I am a certified heart math coach. So definitely would want to talk to me about that. Yes. And I could give you all the tools you need to move those emotions from the darker side to the lighter side, especially if you've been triggered by, a stressor. The other thing is you want to learn mindfulness techniques. I did kind of allude to that earlier, and meditation. Meditation, it does not mean that you're going to be sitting there like, a guru for the next 20 minutes doing some kind of, meditation. No, meditation is going to be 3 minutes. They could be 5 minutes. But I also teach those in my program. And so that's how you move your darker thoughts over to the lighter thoughts, how you can actually have your thoughts just kind of pass along and not think about it, just like I did with my husband when I had that thought before I went to bed that he wasn't going to make it. I could have gone down all those rabbit hole thoughts, but I know how to not do that now. And I know how to just say, okay, well, that's interesting, and go to bed. So if you want to learn more about how this can personally help you, click on the link, and I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to talk to you about it. We could do a stress level assessment if you want to know where your level of stress is at. If you already know where your level of stress is at, we don't need to do that, and we could just chat about what's going on with you, and what I think, and then we'll have a little consultation on what I think is going to help you out personally in whatever situation you're in. So, like I said earlier, though, mind wandering is normal. But it is normal, but it can actually be under the covers. It could be under the radar, just like chronic stress can end up under the radar and you don't even know that you're stressed out. Well, you can have thoughts running under the radar as well. And we're going to talk about this next week. And these are called autopilot thoughts. So definitely come next week and learn about autopilot thoughts, because when we think something, it's going out into the quantum field of possibilities. And I know I want to manage whatever's going out into the field of possibilities. So I'm thinking you do as well. And you can't if you don't know what those thoughts are and they're running on autopilot. All right. So here's the announcement. Here's what I'm really, 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 really excited about. Okay. So I have a retreat coming up. It's a live virtual meditation retreat. And in this live virtual meditation retreat, this is what I've been teasing you guys about, is I'm going to teach you the foundational breath technique that I use in most of my meditations. And this is the one that is used a lot. I mean, it's the one one of the ones that helps you to move from the darker side to the lighter side, but you're not going to get that unless you're in the live virtual meditation retreat. Now, when is it? It is July 17th through the 21st from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Mountain Time. I am going to be posting a lot about it in my personal page. I'll be posting a lot about it on the group, our private group. And so you guys will know where to register for it. So I'm so excited about it. I hope you are too. And I hope to see you there. But I also hope to see you next week when we talk about autopilot. I used to work for Boeing. I know about autopilot. Okay. Bye.